Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to your communication skills class. Today we are back again with another exciting episode of practicing speaking skills in the classroom and making public speeches with the help of an outline. Since all of you know that this is not really very easy for everyone to practice without having anything in the hand or without using any kind of the multimedia slides or any supporting material that is there, speaking extempore is really a very difficult job. And before you move on to speaking extempore in your presentations, it is really very important that we learn and we practice speaking with the help of an outline. So today we are going to actually see that how you can actually speak with the help of an outline. For this purpose, today's lecture would strongly focus on different kinds of outlines, and we would make sure that you can make one good line for your speech, and you can carry that outline in your hand. Now that outline would basically and strongly concentrate on the idea that you can hold it, and at the very spot where you are presenting or where you are having a speech, you can hold that in your hand, and quickly by seeing at each and every point you can just move on with elaborating them in front of your audiences. So this is what our today's lecture and today's talk would basically focus on, but it is really very important that we see that what we have done in our previous lecture. So let's have a quick recap of our previous lecture. The last lecture basically was about the pronunciation practices, the pronunciation skills. I hope that after you have had a thorough session of pronunciation skills in the classroom with me, you must have tried www.forward.com for making sure that you can pronounce each and every word in the scenario where it is required. So talking about the pronunciation skills, the last lecture basically was focused on as pronunciation skills, as we have already talked about in the last lecture, that your pronunciation skills basically focus on that how you are going to pronounce different words. Talking about the language structure that we have talked about in the previous lectures as well. Phonology or phonetics basically is one that unit that is one sound unit, or that elaborates one sound unit in the language. So the study of each and every sound in the language is known as phonetics. In the last lecture we have thoroughly talked about the vowels and the consonants, and we have seen their functions in the language, so that we can see that how we are going to, with the help of these consonants and these vowels, we are going to pronounce different words. So this is what we have done in the last lecture. Also we talked about the 30 tips that how you can improve your speaking skills. These 30 tips basically concentrated on the language structure first of all, the style, and the matter that you are going to use into your speech. So this is what we have talked about in the last lecture, and we have also seen some of the strategies which can be used for improving or for enhancing your speaking skills. So today's focus and today's lecture is also again about the speaking skills, in which we are going to see that how you can speak well with the help of an outline. So here is an agenda of today's briefing. Today we will talk about the importance of outlining the speeches which do not carry any kind of the supporting material. What you can do is you can make use of the outlines in your hand, so that you can speak them well in front of the audiences. Today we are also going to talk about the differences between preparation outline and the speaking outline. Now there are two kinds of the outlines, preparation outline and the speaking outline. That one we would talk about one by one. We would also talk about constructing a preparation outline following the guidelines in the text. We would construct and we would help ourselves prepare one preparation outline, and we would also help construct a speaking outline following the guidelines in the text. So you would be provided the thorough guidelines for making down the preparation outline as well as the speaking outline. We would first of all talk about the definition of preparation outline, and then we would talk about the guidelines for the preparation outline. Then we would talk about the definition of speaking outline, and then we would thoroughly discuss the guidelines for speaking outline. So to begin with, let's quickly see that what is a preparation outline. A preparation outline is a detailed outline which is developed during the stage of speech preparation. As the name itself indicates, that preparation outline is a kind of an outline that's a detailed outline or an elaborated outline which is being created or which is being developed during the stage of preparing an outline. So this is why, and this is what you call a preparation outline. Preparation outline, basically what exactly is the function of preparation outline? It helps you put your speech together. So the ideas, those random ideas or those brainstormed ideas which are coming into your mind, you are going to put them into your speech together with the function so that you can make, or you can discuss them, or you can speak out in front of your audiences. This is one stage at which you decide that how you will organize the main points and the supporting material in the body. So you would see that if this is going to be my main point number 1, and this is going to be my main point number 2, and this is going to be my main point number 3, first of all, in your organized outline or in your preparation outline, you would first of all decide the sequence, that which one is the most or which one needs most priority to be put on the first level. So if you find this point the most important one, you would give it a number 1 and you would put it here. And if you find it this one number 2 and then this one number 3, so you would divide your outline accordingly, 1, 2 and 3. Now these main points of your outline must have the supporting details. Each main point, make sure, must have at least 2 supporting ideas or 2 supporting details. So for point number 1, for your first point, main idea number 1, you have to have at least 2 supporting details. Then for point number 2, again you are supposed to have 2 supporting details, and for point number 3, that is your main point, that must also have 2 supporting details. So this is how you would organize your main points and the supporting material in the body. What you will say in the introduction, now before this very judgment of your body, you have to have your introduction and you have to have your conclusion. In the preparation outline, you would thoroughly decide that what you would say in the introduction and how you would end up your speech with the help of a conclusion. So your structure of the outline or the visual framework of your outline would look like this one, as we have on the left corner of our slide. So this is how you are going to actually create your outline for making down a speech in front of the number of the audiences. There are some guidelines for preparation outline. First of all, you are supposed to make sure that you are going to state your specific purpose. Now, every topic that you are going to utter in front of your audiences, or every topic that you are going to discuss in front of your audiences, one thing that you are going to make sure is to have or to state the specific purpose of your outline. Then identify the central idea, that what exactly is the main theme of your whole topic. Then state your method of organization, that is it going to be the chronological, is it going to be reverse chronological, is it going to be deductive one, or is it going to be inductive one, either moving from specific to general or moving from general to specific. So these are the things that you are going to decide on your own. Then label the introduction, body and conclusion and outline them separately. Like for example, if this is going to be your paper, make sure that you have indicated first of all your purpose properly. Then you have also written down your theme or the central idea. Then also make sure that what is the method of organization in which you would be going. So for that, make sure that you write down your introduction first. Then your body is your second part, where you are going to write down each main point, that is to be followed by the supporting details. Then your main point, that would be followed by the supporting details. And then you are going to, in the end, write down the conclusion. So this is how the visual framework of your outline would look like. There are some other guidelines. Use a consistent pattern of symbolization and indentation, like the way I have used these bullets. So make sure that your subpoints are labeled in the same sequence or the symbolization is same. So if you are using a bullet for your main point and a sub-bullet or Roman numbering for your supporting details, make sure that they are consistent throughout. This symbolization and this indentation is similar throughout. Try to make sure that you properly insert the headings for introduction, main body and the conclusion, so that you can identify those headings. Those headings must also be indented properly. Those headings must properly have some kind of a symbolization so that they can fall prominent out of the other things which are being written in your preparation outline. So your pattern of your outline must be consistent throughout, no matter that's going to be of 1 page or no matter that's going to be of 2 or 3 pages. State the main points at and the first level subpoints in A, B, C or extra in full sentences. So make sure that your main points are being labeled maybe in the bullets, or you are going to select any kind of the bullet type. That can be ABC, that can be Roman numbering, that can be 1, 2, 3 and so on. Label transitions, internal summaries and internal previews. You are also going to make sure that you are going to label them also. Attach a bibliography from where you are going to attach or from where you are going to gather the material. That particularly refers to the references or the reference list from where you have actually gathered down all the information to be written down into your outline. Remember, plagiarism is one thing that can create problems for you. Maybe you are uttering a speech on the stage, and if the speech has been or speech was being copied by you, and that very person is also sitting in the audiences, so you can be challenged at this spot. So instead of that you get embarrassed in front of the larger number of the audiences for the crime of plagiarism, make sure that you develop your outline. And even if you are quoting someone else's work, make sure that you are properly referring to it. Give your speech a title, that is if desirable, so that is not mandatory that you are going to do so. So these are some of the guidelines for the preparation outline. Now talking about the visual framework that you would have about your guideline, the pattern of symbolization and indentation in a speech outline is one that shows the relationship among the speaker's ideas. So your symbolization, your visual framework would strongly tell that what exactly the person or the speaker has in his or her mind. Now moving on to seeing the example of the visual framework of symbolization and indentation. Now let's see that how your main or your outline would look like. Now this is what you call a main body. This is the body of the outline. Here you would write down your introduction first of all, and in the end you would write down your conclusion. Now check out the symbolization and indentation of this visual framework. As you can see, the main points are being written in the Roman numbers. So there is a consistency that your main points are being written down in the Roman number caps. Then you have got your subpoints which are bulleted in A, B, and it can be A, B and C. So for every main point or every main point, sub-point, you are going to make sure that you are going to do the same. Then each of your sub-point or for every sub-point or for every main point must be or are written down in the bullets of 1, 2. So this is how you see your sub-points. All of the sub-points are being written in your ABC letters. Your main points are being written in Roman numbers, and your sub-points are being written in the numericals, that is 1 and 2. So this is how the framework is regarding or related to symbolization and indentation, as well as the display is consistent throughout. Your ideas, your subpoints are being written in the same way, your main points are being written in the same way, and your sub-points are being written in the same way. So this is how your visual framework of your outline would look like once you are going to develop it thoroughly. I hope the idea is clear for the preparation outline. Now let's moving on to the speaking outline. For the speaking outline, first of all, let's try to see that how is it different from the preparation outline. Basically, speaking outline is next step to your preparation outline. For the preparation outline is a process of making an outline. So once you are preparing an outline, that would give you a process once you are going to move on to your speaking outline. A speaking outline is a brief outline as compared to the preparation outline, which was the detailed outline used to jog a speaker's memory during the presentation of a speech. So your preparation outline was during the preparation of speech, and now your speaking outline is a brief outline that is being used to jog the speaker's memory during the presentation of a speech. So this is how both of them, they are different. So your speaking outline basically is used for a speaker during the presentation of a speech. Now moving on to the guidelines for speaking outline, you are supposed to follow the visual framework which is used in the preparation outline. So for the speaking outline, the same visual framework that we have used in our preparation outline can also be used for your speaking outline. Make sure the outline is plainly legible. Now that has to be plainly legible because standing on the podium in front of so many audiences, you are supposed to quickly see from the outline that what next word or what next main point or sub point you are going to talk about. So this is really very important, that the things that you have written down onto your outline must really be very, very clear, since you would be talking about different things and you need to, once you need to see from the outline, that must be written in a very legible manner. Otherwise, if that's not clear for you, you might be wondering on the stage that what exactly I have written here and what exactly you are supposed to utter in front of the audiences. That can sometimes can be embarrassing, or so you sometimes can lose or your temper, or sometimes you can panic in front of the audiences. That cannot leave a good impression of your capabilities in front of your audiences. Keep the outline as brief as possible, since a longer paper description or maybe 2 or 3 pages may drive you to nothing. You would not reach any destination if you are going to do so. So make sure that your outline is as brief as possible, and give yourself cues for delivering the speech. So your preparation, your speaking outline must be a kind of a cue for giving you for delivering the presentation, that what exactly the main point focuses on, what exactly the sub point mainly focuses on. So they must be cues. They should not be the longer sentences written on the outline. Rather, they can be the points, or they can be the phrases which are written there to elaborate your ideas in front of your audiences. Your eye contact is really very important while you are delivering your speaking outline. Try to breathe. Try not to confuse yourself, or try not to panic in front of the audiences. Slow down your pace of in which you are moving. Then pause for emphasis on the different words. Look to far right. Now try to make sure that you have your look from right to left from throughout your room. Also lower down your pitch. Then show the first visual aid quickly. Then move left of the podium, and this is how you can move on with your outline while you are trying to deliver any kind of a speech in front of your audiences. For outlining the speech, first of all, try to remember that outlines are essential to the effective speeches. They help place related items together. Outlines also help to ensure the natural flow of the ideas from one to the another, and they also help to create the coherent structure so that your ideas are logically connected and they look logically connected from one idea to the other one. Now moving on to the preparation outline, which is a detailed outline which is used to plan a speech. Now let's see some of the guidelines that can be used for the preparation outline. First of all, for outlining the speech, that's the process of building the preparation outline, brings together all of the major elements of the speech together. To do so, you're supposed to write down the title first, then you're supposed to write down the specific purpose, the central idea, the way we had been discussing earlier as well. Now we would see each and everything written down on the piece of paper. Then introduction, then there are connectives, then there are main points in full declarative sentences once you are going to talk about the preparation outline. Then there are some supporting points in full declarative sentences. Again, your supporting ideas and your main points must be written down into the full declarative sentences, which are going to be your complete sentences. Then comes conclusion, and then comes the bibliography, which are really very important to be attached with your preparation outline. There are some guidelines for creating for the preparation outline, and now let's visit them thoroughly. Now, for outlining the preparation outline, make sure that you state the specific purpose of your speech. Also identify the central idea. For stating the specific purpose, the speaker's goal, try to write down what exactly is the speaker's goal and what the speaker hopes to accomplish. So in other words, you are going to write down the objective, that why you are presenting in front of your audiences. Then also talk about the central idea, that can also be the theme, the main theme of your whole speech, that what the speaker expects to say. That should be one clear, only one clear and concise full declarative thesis statement. So this word thesis statement itself makes clear that what exactly you are supposed to write down into your central idea. Remember, there is supposed to be only one line that is thoroughly representing your central idea in front of your audiences. Label the introduction, body and conclusion. Now make sure that you have labeled or you have properly inserted the headings of introduction, body and conclusion. Use a consistent pattern of symbolization and indentation. Now make sure that your pattern, your visual pattern or your visual framework has got the symbolization and indentations consistent throughout. Follow a clear visual framework. So for which you can follow one clear visual framework, for which you have also seen one example previously. Visual framework is the pattern of symbolization and indentation in a speech outline that shows the relationship among the ideas of the speech. So there should be a proper connection, there should be a proper coherence, there should be a proper cohesion between the main points, between the sub-points and between the sub-points of every new point that you are presenting that must be related to your thesis statement. Now moving on, state main points and sub points in full declarative sentences. Make sure that you write down full declarative sentences for writing down any main point or for writing down any sub point. Now these sentences is a formal sentence outline, so make sure that your preparation outline is a kind of a formal sentence outline in which you are going to write down the complete sentences. Label transitions, internal previews, internal summaries and signposts if there are any, like bibliography, like references, like introduction, like previews. Attach a bibliography. That is a list of all the sources used in preparing a speech. So you are going to label all those sources, no matter you have copied them from internet or you have consulted any book or you have consulted any author or you have also consulted any kind of author's notes. So make sure that you have labeled the bibliography properly. Give your speech a title if that is desirable or if you find convenient to give one or provide one title to your speech. Now that we are done with the preparation outline, now let's move on to the speaking outline, which is brief outline used to deliver the speech. So this is being used to deliver the speech that is ready for the presentation. The speaking outline, the primary purpose is to help the speaker remember that what is he supposed to say. So basically your speaking outline provides the cues to the reader that what exactly is the next point that he is supposed to focus on. You are supposed to write down the key words and phrases in your speaking outline. For the key words and phrases, reduce main subpoints and points which have been written into the full declarative statement into your preparation outline. Make sure that you reduce those main and subpoints into 1 or 3 words per point. So there would be smaller words and phrases which would be elaborating your ideas into the main and the subpoints. Basically, your speech outline is designed for looking for the cues for the delivery of your presentation, which may be particularly effective for the extempore delivery. So you have one word written there and you are supposed to elaborate that word in front of the audiences. So this will automatically become your extempore speech. Direction and a speaking outline to help a speaker remember how he or she wants to deliver the key parts of the speech. As I've already elaborated that what those words and phrases would help the reader elaborate his ideas in front of your audiences. And for the it is also helpful for the extempore delivery for carefully prepared and rehearsed in advance. Since you have carefully prepared your speech outline with the help of a preparation outline, and then you can you have rehearsed that well, and then you can deliver that in front of your audiences with confidence. There are some guidelines for creating the speaking outline. The first one is following the same visual framework that is being used in the preparation outline. So your visual framework, the display of your speech outline, your speaking outline would be the same as it was in your preparation outline. Make sure that it has to be plainly legible, because you don't really want to be at the lecture and wondering that now what on the earth did I write here. Now the word is itself really written down in a very confused manner, or it's not legible, that you are standing on the dais in front of the number of the audiences who have their eye on you, and you are trying to look at that what exactly is written here, and oh my god, what I'm going to do next. So your writing should be plainly legible, so that that is going to be understandable by you once you are going to read that in a hurry. Now it should be as brief as possible, since you cannot hold long pages into your hands. You are supposed to hold only a small piece of paper that presents that is being presented in the form of the words or phrases. So remember that only 1 to 3 words per point would be enough to be elaborated in front of the audiences. Should include cues for delivering the speech like pause, slow down, breathe and smile. So you are going to write down those cues on those on that very outline, so that you can make sure that here I am supposed to slow down, here I am going to pause, here I am going to smile a little in front of my audiences. Since you have rehearsed that again and again in front of mirror and you have practiced that thoroughly, so you know it better that how you are going to do that. There is the importance of communication. Now that we are done with the outline practices and we know that how you are going to develop one visual framework for your outlines, now let's see that what is the importance of communication. There are class presentations, there are field researches, there are business communications, and there is public speaking, which are the varieties of communication in speaking. So any one of the situation that you are going to come across, you are going to see that which one you are going to and how you are going to make use of the preparation outline and the speaking outline. Out of all the fears in the world, the fear of public speaking is the #1 fear in the whole world. The population, out of the population, your fear of death is #2. So public speaking can also be, or this stage of this stage fear, or this fear of standing on the podium, can also be the fear of the president of the country. So no matter what, you are a human being, and this fear is natural. Stage fear occurs because you feel that you would be standing in the spotlight in front of the audiences. Sometimes you feel that even though you have prepared well for your speech, you feel that you are totally unprepared, and then you feel that you are inexperienced and you do not have any experience, and the people sitting in the audiences have got more experience as compared to you. So that also becomes one of your fear of your speaking. For the effective communication, try to prepare well, try to practice well, and try to make your presence valuable. How you can do that? Let's try to discuss them, each one of them. For the preparation, try to see that you have properly researched, not the non-research. Try to see that you have researched for the topic well. Try to compose the format on which you are going to speak in front of your audiences. Try to see that whatever you are going to speak is being known by you. You know it already, so that you can deliver it efficiently. Then if you have if you are going to outline the main points, also make sure that you keep the note cards in your hand, not the full-sized papers. So the impression of the full-sized paper is not as good as you keep the small slips of the papers into your hand, which you also call the notepads. If you go to the market, you would find the varieties of the colors in the notepads that you can keep in your hand during the presentations or during the speech. There is a sample speech outline, which is a very general one. Your introduction must strongly carry the thesis statement. Your body must strongly carry your supporting arguments, and your conclusion must strongly carry the review. So this is the visual framework, or this is the sample of the speech outline your outline must look like. Then for the practice, as you know that practice basically makes the man perfect, you are supposed to have proper revisions, you are supposed to have the proper rehearsals of the topic on which you are going to speak, and get time right. Get a proper ample time for rehearsing on the topic, so that you can have the command of understanding it and you can deliver it in front of your audiences. For your presence, your physical presence as well as your mental presence is really very important. So you must make sure that you are mentally as well as physically present on the place where you are speaking. Your body language, your nervousness, your voice tone, your gestures, eye contact must be delivered through the positive attitude. So make sure that your presence must be in a positive way once you are talking about physical or the mental activity. There are a few things that you should not do during the presentation. The first foremost thing that you are supposed not to do in front of your audiences is to directly reading from the notes. So if you have a piece of paper in your hand and you are directly reading from that in front of your audiences, that is not going to convey a good impression of yours in front of your audiences. Read directly from the screen, no matter you are reading from the page or you are reading from the screen. That would not give a very good impression to your audiences. Try to see that you pick up one word from the screen or you pick up one word from the page that you are carrying, and then try to elaborate that into your front of your audiences. Turn back on audiences. Not turning your back completely toward audiences and facing the screen, and you cannot have a proper eye contact with your audiences can also be or should also be properly avoided. Hands in pockets or slouched shoulders must also be avoided during these speeches or during the presentations. Now there should not be any conversation gaps like ooh, and kind of gaps which try to just cover your speech. There should not be any nervous gestures, any nervousness like shaking legs, like shivering hands or sweating palms and stuff like that. Talking too fast or talking too quietly can be of two other things that can destroy your presentation. So make sure that you are moving at the regular pace of your voice, so that everyone can understand you. There are a few things that you should strongly concentrate on. First of all, your eye contact with everyone whosoever is sitting in the audiences. Can glance at the note, but do not read from the note. You can have a glance at the notes, pick up one word and try to just discuss with your audiences. Appropriate gestures. Try to make sure that your body movements, your hand movements, your leg movements, all of them, they are appropriate. Then you may ask them a rhetorical question to involve the audiences, and there are ways of asking questions that we would be discussing later. There are 10 successful tips for controlling the butterflies in your stomach. Whenever you are being asked to deliver a presentation, I know that there is something going on to your stomach, and that something is that nervousness or that element of the nervousness that can occur to anyone who is delivering the presentation. So to avoid that, first of all, make sure that you know your room, know and become familiar with the place where you would be delivering your presentation. Secondly, know your audiences. Now that you know your room, So make sure that you know your audiences. Try to arrive early at the point where you are supposed to deliver your presentation. Try to meet with people, try to greet with them, so that before you actually begin with your presentation, you know at least some of them, because it is really very easy to communicate with your friends as compared to strangers. Know your material. Make sure that your nervousness will be increased if you are unprepared. So make sure that you have read your material well, so that you can present that in a very good way. Relaxation. You relax your entire body by stretching or breathing so as to ease your tension. Try to stretch your muscles, try to breathe properly so that you can relax your facial muscles as well as your body muscles. Visualize giving yourself a speech. Visualize yourself as a successful person moving from your seat to the podium, presenting successfully, then coming back, people applauding and people appreciating you. So try to visualize yourself as a successful person, because once you are going to see yourself as a successful person, only then you would become one good successful person. So this is one tip that you are going to put onto your fingertips, that you are going to visualize yourself as a successful person. Next point, that people want you to succeed. Those people who are sitting in the audiences are not your enemies. They want you to succeed and they want you to become a successful speaker. So make sure that they are not your enemies and they want you to perform well on the stage. Do not apologize for any kind of the inconveniences being caused by you during the presentation. Do not apologize for the nervousness. Do not point out the errors in your slides. Do not point out any errors of your pronunciation during the speech until and unless, remember, until and unless you are going to point them out or you are going to deliver them in front of your audiences, or you are going to say to your audiences, they will never get to know. Your error was just the matter of a minute or maybe a second, and nobody would find it out until you have pointed that out on your own and you have made it prominent for your audiences. So for the rest of the speech or for the rest of the presentation, your audiences would be looking for more errors in your speech. So never try to be apologetic for the errors or for the nervousness that you have had during the speech or during the presentation. Concentrate on your message, not on the medium. So whatever medium you are using for delivering your speech, make sure that clearly delivers your point of view to your audiences, because our main concern is not our medium. Our main concern is the message that we are going to deliver to our audiences. So message, not the medium. Turn your nervousness into a positive energy, like you turn the expired things into the ones that you can use. So try to turn the nervousness into the positive energy. Try to convert those kind of nervousness into the enthusiasm or motivation. Gain experience, like the way you are gaining experience, like the way in the classrooms the teachers usually give students a really very tough time by calling them on stage again and again to deliver the presentation. Why is this happening with you time and again, and why students are being grilled up again and again? Because teachers really very much want you to prepare to be prepared for your practical life, since there would be a lot of situations where you would be you would have to speak on the stage without any without being prepared or without having any experience. So you must remember this time, and you must try to see that how competent you were to face the whole class. Now how you can answer a group of people that can be 5 to 10 or that can be 2 or 3. So this is one key to the to become one good effective public speaker. So that was all. Now moving on to the public speaking, and there are some more tips that can be attached with the outline, that you can with the help of an outline, how you can deliver the public speech. Before we move on, the fear of public speaking is the #1 fear in the world. Out of the fear of death is #3, the fear of snakes is #2, but the fear of public speaking is people's biggest fear in the world. Overcoming speech anxiety by acknowledging your fear, by acting confident, by channelizing your nervousness into the energy, and this is how you can overcome your nervousness. Now, for overcoming the speech anxiety, make sure that you practice, and practice. Simulate setting at home. Try to make a simulation of the setting where you would be presenting. Either that's going to be in the semicircle, or that's going to be in a very big room, or that's going to be in the staircase kind of a room where you would be standing on a podium. Try to see and try to imagine that there are a lot of audiences sitting and you are standing there and you are delivering your speech in front of them. Ask friends to be participative audiences or to practice audiences. Try to ask in or try to call in your 2 or 3 friends, or maybe 4 or 5. Tell them to sit down and then deliver a speech in front of them. Visualize your success. As I said earlier, that you are going to visualize your success because people want you to succeed and they want to see you as a successful person. Use deep breathing techniques. Try to use these kind of techniques that can be used for effective presentations. Focus on message and not the fear. Give yourself a mental pep talk. Understand what audiences how audiences are listening to you. People think faster than they can hear. So the way the mind is functioning while somebody is talking to you, you can quickly jump onto the conclusion. Sometimes your attention span is sometimes really very short and your ideas can be diverted and your thought can be diverted from one angle to the other. So try to make sure that you understand that how people are listening. Try to have this proper eye on them. Try to see that try to also understand this thing that people, they've got really very short attention span. So try to grab their attention towards whatever, and as soon as you feel that people, they are losing their attention or they are losing their interest, try to bring in something interesting for them to be discussed. Also try to see that people are easily distracted and they quickly jump to the conclusions. So try to visualize things or try to see things according to their minds. Try to put yourself into their situation and then try to design your speech accordingly. There are some listening remedies which you can adopt. First of all, you can keep your speech focused. Now, if you are going to keep your speech focused, you can make sure or you can be sure that how you can involve audiences into your speech. Divide your speech into the compact segments. Analyze your audiences carefully and adapt to the situation. So this is how you are going to avoid these kind of listening remedies coming from your all of these listening problems coming from your audiences. Now on the graph, understand the audience's memory, which is the account of the speech remembered is lesser than the time that you have confused for delivering your speech. So maybe you are giving too much time to one idea that is becoming boring for your audiences, so that you cannot more concentrate on the presentation that you are delivering. Understand the speech context for which you are going to understand your audiences, as well as you are going to understand the setting. This is your context. That can be people talking to each other in this situation, or maybe people are listening to only one person, or there may be the group of people, or there may be the peers who are talking. So try to visualize the context first of all. For the context, try to see the size of the audiences, the demographics of the audiences, their beliefs and values, and also try to see that they are receptive and antagonist. Try to also see the setting in terms that if it is indoor or outdoor, then the size and the shape of the room, so that you can design your speech accordingly. The seating arrangement, the availability of the equipment, lighting and acoustics. So all of these things must be checked prior you actually begin with your speech with an outline. For understanding and for defining your purpose, make sure it can be any one of them. You may be informing, or you may be providing an information. You may be speaking for inspiration or for persuasion. You may also be speaking for entertainment. You may be introducing something to your audiences. There may be the sense of acceptance, and there may be accepting something, and maybe you are paying tribute to someone through your speech. Also understand the speech making process. You must know that how you are going to choose and then narrow down your topic to one particular thing. Researching a topic, conducting a proper research on the topic that you have selected for delivering in front of your audiences. Then organizing your speech the way we have organized the visual framework of our preparation outline, then moving on to the speaking outline. Then develop it, then rehearse your speech, and then deliver it confidently in front of your audiences. For choosing the topic of your speech, make sure that you understand that why is, for choosing a topic, make sure that you understand and you answer yourself some of these questions. Why is it important to you? Why is this topic important to you? Is it important to your audiences? So if the topic is important to you, so is it in the same way important to your audiences? Will it hold audiences' attention? So the topic that you have selected for your speech, is it going to hold the audience's attention? Is it manageable in the time available that you have selected for delivering your presentation? Is it appropriate for oral presentation, or is it clear to be presented, or there are no controversies in the topic that you have selected for your presentation? Develop your central idea, for which make sure that you write down one sentence summary of the speech. Like the way it is being written here, the discussion provides us with the skills we need to be successful in life. Then generate the main idea. That does it have the logical deviance? Are there reasons that why is it true? So provide the logical deviance first of all, the proper sequencing, then provide the reasons, and then for every reason try to provide the supporting details. So this is how you can write down, or you can generate the main ideas. Like there are narrowed down examples, ideas. First of all, protecting the environment can also be written down in a way. Water quality in my state, well water problems, utilizing home well assessments to reduce contamination or water contamination risks. Getting topic feedback from members of the potential audiences. Maybe you can ask your friends that how do you like my topic, or maybe you can ask your family that how do you like my topic that I am going to present in front of the audiences. Researching topic and finding the supporting material. For the supporting material, try to see that you search for the sources, types, and the tests. To do so, let's discuss them one by one. The sources of the supporting material, first of all, can be the libraries. In the libraries, you can find books, you can find periodicals, you can find newspapers, you can find reference materials, CD-ROM databases, and government documentation. That can be thesis papers which are available in different libraries. Then the internet or the web, World Wide Web, which has got different search engines like Google, Hotbot, Lycos, Yahoo, and Infosys, and there are so many more. And there are online libraries available also for the supporting material. Like you can find the online journals where you can find the varieties of the materials. Also make sure that whenever you are putting anything from any particular source, you are going to put or you are going to mention that into your bibliography. There are some types of the supporting material like common knowledge. You are talking in terms of your common knowledge. There is a direct observation. Sometimes you provide the examples and illustrations. Sometimes explanations and descriptions, and sometimes the documentation which is available that is related to the topic. There are the tests of supporting material. For finding out, you conduct a test to find out that is the information specific, is the source an expert, is source unbiased, or is the information timely. So you can check for specifications, expertise, biasness, and time limitations of the supporting material by conducting these kind of tests on them. There are some other tests of the supporting material. You can also check for checking out that is the information relevant to the main point that is being made. You can also check for the information also supports the main point, and you can also check for if the information is timely. There are some considerations for online information. In physical print, quality is controlled by the experts. Like journals, we have got peer reviews. In periodicals, we have got editors. And in published text, we have got editors and librarians. Online, must do your own control quality. Beware that everything on web is not reliable, so make sure that whatever you are downloading from internet, you download from org links. Do not copy from or do not always rely on the .com URLs, because they can also be reliable. They can also be unreliable. For organizing your speech, there are many ideas, like starting from deductive approach, inductive approach, and chronological approach. Your outlines, your speech can be topical, your speech can be cause and effective speech. You can also talk about the problem solution speech, and you can also talk about the comparison and contrast. There are types of outline. There is one primary outline, which is known as the rough draft, which has got main points to the research. For the preparation outline, you have got title and topic, purpose, introduction, main points and subpoints, transitions, conclusions, and supporting the evidences. So this is what, and this is how you actually prepare different outlines. Other examples of the speaker's outline are: you put down the introduction, main points, supporting points, transitions, and the conclusions. There are some ethics in speech preparation researching. Take accurate notes when you are researching. Record complete sources and complete citations. Credit your source of ideas, and when you are in doubt, cite the sources which you have, from where you are copying your data. Do not use someone else's speech. As I've said earlier, that it can be embarrassing if you have copied someone else's speech and that person is already there sitting in the audiences and wondering that what on the earth you are talking about. So make sure that you do not fall in this list of plagiarism, because people may sue you on the spot if you have copied their work and you are representing in front of your audiences to gain the appreciation for yourself. So make sure that this is a crime. So try to make sure that if you have copied or if you are taking references from someone else's work, you have properly quoted that reference. For your introductions, there are some types. For every introduction that you give, it has got some types and it has got some functions. The types of introductions include identification with the audiences, reference to situations, statement of purpose, statement of importance of the topic, and surprise audiences with a claim or statistics. There are some types of the introductions. You can begin your introduction by telling your audiences a story. You can also begin your presentation or your speech by asking a question from your audiences. You can also begin your speech by asking or by providing one quotation to your audiences, and you can also use humor to begin your speech if you are good at the jokes or presenting the humor. There are some functions of the introduction, like introductions are strongly being used to get the attention of your audiences, first of all. Secondly, you may introduce a topic to your audiences. Provide a motivation. Your introductions basically provide a motivation to your audiences that why are they sitting there to listen to you. They establish the credibility of your presentation, and they kind of preview your speech. Also, talking about the types and functions of the conclusions, the conclusions has got many types, like summary conclusions, quotation conclusions, personal references, challenge to the audiences, and offering vision of the future, for which you can use different kinds of the types. A story. You may tell a short story by the end of your speech, and then you can close down your speech. You may ask them a question that they may ponder over for the rest of their lives. You can also close down your speech with the help of a quotation, like, remember what Dwight D. Ellis Brown once said, things are more like they are now than they have ever been before. So you can also make use of the quotations that can be specific to your topic, and you can just close down your speech. You can also add a humor in a way that you are going to tell them a joke, and then you are going to shut down your speech. There are some functions of the conclusions which help you summarize your speech. First of all, they re-emphasize on the main idea. So summarization, providing the summary, re-emphasizing the main idea, motivating the response, and providing the closure to your presentation. There are some methods of the delivery like manuscript reading, memorization, impromptu and extempore deliveries of the presentation or the speeches that you are delivering in front of the audiences. No matter whatever you are going to choose, the only thing that matters is that you are going to make use of an outline on the cardboard that you can put in your hand, and then you can deliver your speech efficiently. For the beginning of delivering your speech, make sure that you walk calmly with the confidence to the front. If you are being called from your chair, make sure that you stand up with confidence and then you move on to the podium with confidence. Establish eye contact. Now, for establishing eye contact, do not stare at people. Try to make sure that you move from right to left and then from left to right so that you can look at everyone. Smile naturally. That doesn't mean that you are going to put an artificial smile on your face. Try to smile naturally so that people can feel that you are friendly and pleasant. Deliver the introduction in a way, the way we have discussed the types of discussing, or for the types of how you are going to deliver your introduction. You may use humor, you may use persuasions, you may ask a question, you may tell them a story, or you may begin your speech with the help of a quotation. During your speech, make sure that you have the eye contact with everyone. Make sure that throughout your speech you have developing this eye contact. Using the effective language. For the language use, make sure that your language is the collection of the words that you have choose for or you are choosing for delivering your speech are the simplest ones. Then using effective gestures, your hand movements, your leg movements, or the way you are moving your body must be effective. Be enthusiastic, look fresh and enthusiastic and vigorous about your presentation. Using the conversational style, do not take everything on you. Let the audiences also speak about the topic. Use notes as needed, so you may also take help of the notes, the handouts, if you want to use it as a visual aid. Then for the ending basically provides you the frame for the speech. So try to make sure that you summarize it well. Pause before returning to the seat, so pause well, and once you have ended, then return to your seat. But don't ask for the questions yourself from the audiences, because your audiences may put you in trouble. Accept applauses graciously with a big smile on your face. There are some elements for the vocal delivery of your presentation as well. Your speech rate and pauses is one important thing that would add to your speech while you are delivering it from the outline. Make sure that there are proper pauses and you have written down the cues in your outline that can strongly tell you that where exactly you are supposed to have a pause and where you are going to slow down or where you are going to quickly tell your information to your audiences. The volume must be the mediocre one. Do not shout in the small rooms and do not mumble in the large rooms. Then the pitch and the quality of the voice. Your voice quality must be clear and that must be heard to everyone. Pronunciation and articulation of the words must be the clear one. Do not pronounce unnaturally, because that can create problems for your audiences to understand that what you are talking about. There are some elements of the physical delivery or the body language. First of all, the appearance, how exactly you are appearing in front of the audiences, what exactly you are wearing. So your physical appearance would make a lot of difference. Your standing posture, the way you are standing in front of your audiences, your facial expressions, eye contact, movement and gestures, all of them must be strongly addressed during the presentation. For rehearsing your speech, recreate the setting, practice without memorizing, and time speech. So have the rehearsal of your speech well. So try to create the setting in which you would be presenting or you would be delivering your final presentation. Also practice without memorization, like try to speak the or try to having an extempore presentation. Also keeping in mind the time limit in which you are supposed to deliver your presentation. Practice out loud. Try to speak out loud so that you can hear your voice the way you are going to talk in front of your audiences. Practice standing up in a way that you would be standing in front of your audiences. Try to make sure that you are standing in the same posture. And watch yourself in the mirror so that you can judge yourself that where do you stand when you would be delivering a presentation to your audiences. Practice your gestures, practice your eye contact, and practice your volume. Everything must properly be checked in the mirror or maybe onto your PowerPoint laptop. Try to rehearse well and try to see each and everything of yours. Plan, prepare, polish, practice, and present. The better you know your material, the next noxious you will be about presenting it. Smile and act natural. Don't apologize for being nervous, because no one will ever know that you were nervous unless you call attention to it. So it brings us to the end of today's lecture. Today we have thoroughly talked about the speaking outline and the preparation outline, and I hope that you would be trying one at home by selecting one topic and then try to make sure that how you are going to deliver it. Try to rehearse well in front of the mirror. Try to practice your voice. Try to practice your physical appearance. Try to practice out the speech. Try to practice out without making use of the cards that you are going to use during the presentation. This is how you can make yourself one good speaker who is speaking maybe with the help of an outline, and then as you would be moving on, you would be making sure that you can speak in without an outline, that you would be becoming one extempore speaker. Here is a list of references from where the material was being downloaded for your convenience. I'm Anila Noshin signing off from here. I'll see you in the next class with another exciting episode of presentation skills. From now on, we would be practicing our presentation skills since we are done with all our 4 language skills, and I hope that they have been really useful for your communication classes. I wish you very good luck for becoming one good business administrator. Take very good care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.